Hi guys, it's an absolutely miserable day here, but I just wanted to do a video today on my drum filter. For anyone who doesn't know, I've got a Profi Drum Eco 4540. I've had it for about 3 months and I've been holding off doing a video on it because I wanted to give it a fair test before I put anything up about it. A few of you will know, it's fair to say I've had my fair share of issues with it. To be honest, I've had an absolute nightmare with it, and several times I've debated ripping it out and taking it back, but persevered with it. And you know, as you can see now, the water clarity is really good. But yeah, it wasn't smooth sailing getting it up and running. So I'm going to show you a few old clips of when the pond was new and when I was trying to get it up and running, and you know, some of the problems that I've had with it. But before I do that, I'll just quickly show you the drum and the setup now, just so you can have a quick look at it, and then yeah, we'll get into some of the issues that I've been having with it. So I've just had a delivery this morning of what will be my new filter when I extend the pond. I mean, as I said a minute ago, I'm not convinced it's going to be totally complete until next year now. Yeah, really looking forward to this. So there's 3 4-inch inlets on the front. I'm only going to be using 2 of them. One from a bottom drain and one from the skimmer. I'll have to blank the other one off. And the other one is the waste. Haven't even looked inside it yet, so let's have a quick look. So here's the drum itself. Looks a really smart piece of kit. Really looking forward to getting it set up and installed. Possibly depending on how easily I can get it done, I may get it up and running on the existing pond. But we'll see what I've got time to do over the next few weeks. So it's got a direct drive motor which turns the drum, and there's a cut out there for the 40 watt amalgam UV. So yeah, it's a little bit of an investment and a bit of an upgrade from the Easy Pod, but it should be good when it's all up and running. Right, so here's the drum in place. As you can see, there's the direct drive motor, the amalgam UV at the bottom there. I've got one outlet going into my IBC, and then one pump there goes straight back to the shower. You know, one thing I will say about these drums is they're not plug and play. There's a lot of mucking about and things you have to do. All these float switches have all got to be wired in into the control box. You know, nothing comes with plugs on. You've got to put the plugs on everything. The same with the pressure pump. The pressure pump doesn't even come with a cable actually, or a cable gland. And again, this fitting here is 1/2 inch, whereas that is 1 inch, so you need some juicers and bits in there. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is there is a bit of fighting about to get these up and running, and you know, they're a lot of money. And one thing I will say is the instructions that it comes with are virtually non-existent. There is 1 page of A4 with a diagram on it and about 4 bullet points, and that is it. There is a full manual on Profi Drum's website, which I didn't find until quite a long time afterwards, but hey ho, you live and learn. But yeah, this is it. It's running now, but I'm just going to show you some of the clips of some of the problems that I had been having, and then I'll come back to you and just tell you what we've done to sort that. Before we go any further, I just want to say that Darren at Absolute Koi, he's been really good, and I have had to call him quite a few times with issues, and you know, he's always been at the end of the phone, and he has helped me get it sorted. So you know, big shout out to him really. Right, so I'm going to run a manual clean on the drum. It looks like it's probably about to clean anyway, but you can see the water in there is clean at the moment. We'll press manual clean and see what it looks like. The water is going down the waste chute, but that clean side now is dirty. Look at the state of that. I mean, that water is properly brown. There's all kinds of bits in there. I mean, I don't want that going back round my filter every time I do a clean. I mean, that's disgraceful. I'm going to run another clean. Again, it's this corner. It's this corner where the jets are spraying. I don't know whether it's spraying it too hard, but that water's cloudy again. There's dirt going through there. Okay, so the water level's up to where it should be now. I'm going to do a manual clean on the drum and just see if there's any dirt getting through. Right, that water's still definitely dirty, and I cleaned that less than 20 minutes ago, so dirt's definitely still getting through. Right, I'm going to get some filter floss in the top tier of the shower. I might have to take a little bit of media out because I wedged it in a bit tight. I just need to see how much dirt's actually getting through from the drum. I mean, the water quality is good. Well, I don't know if it is really. So I've got some perfectly clean bits of filter floss on the top of there, so that should be able to tell me what dirt is getting through. Hopefully this is only going to be temporary. I've had to take a fair bit of shower media out just to get that in because it was a bit wedged in. I'm going to run a clean on the drum now and see if anything's going through. So this filter floss has been on here for 6 hours. It was absolutely spotlessly clean, and look at the state of it now. That's all dirt that's gone through the drum. You know, all the way along underneath there. That's all stuff that otherwise would have been going through into the shower. I mean, that's filthy. If that was after my Easy Quad, I'd expect that to be 3 or 4 days to get that dirty. And that's done it in 6 hours. So it's letting loads through. There's the state of that filter floss in the top of there as well. It's only been 3 days. I'm going to have to clean that out tomorrow before that's locked up. Yeah, my Easy Pod trapped more dirt than this is. Right, check out the state of these. That is 4 days dirt that's got through the drum. I'm not very impressed with that, to be quite honest. That's a lot, and I don't really want that all going through the shower media. If this is how drums are supposed to work, which is what I'm being told, that this should only be stuff that's finer than 70 microns, that's still a lot of dirt from a new pond to get through in a couple of days. So the drum dramas continue. I've lost a fair bit of water out of the pond. I come out first thing and everything was absolutely fine, and then I've come back an hour later and the drum's been stuck in cleaning mode. I've just had to turn it all off for now, but the high pressure pump was running constant, and yeah, we've lost a few inches of water out of the pond. There's now not enough water in there for the drum to run, so I'm gonna have to turn it off until it fills up again. I'm losing my patience with this drum, to be quite honest. So this is it just normally running. Don't know if you can see the seal on there. Most of the dirt you see seems to be this side when it appears. It's like, that's obviously the bit of the drum where it hasn't been washed, and it's like when it's blasting it, it's just blasting it off into there rather than through. There is loads of bits down that bottom there. Right, so I've got the control box open of the Profi drum. I'm really getting hacked off with this, to be quite honest. I really expected it, you know, for the money that you pay, to be set up and ready to go and not have to do all this. But basically we've opened it up. There's this little timer here. This is the length of time the wash cycle runs for. It was set at 12.5, but when you run a wash cycle there was a couple of bars that didn't get cleaned on the cycle, so it wasn't doing a full rotation. So I've had to change that up to 15. And the other thing is, obviously now today I've had it pump all the water out of the pond. Well, not all of it, 6 inches or so of it. But that's because the cut off, there's a second float switch to cut the water, to cut the pumps if the water level drops. But that doesn't come wired in. I was told not to wire it in until I'd got everything running properly, so that's why I hadn't done it. But obviously now I've come a bit unstuck with that, so I'm going to have to get that in. Annoyingly, there's no way to even get this into the box without drilling another hole. I might be able to squeeze it through that gland there, hopefully, and that's got to wire into this in here. You've got to take this purple wire out, and then set the level on that float switch. I mean, really, you shouldn't have to be doing things like this. It should come ready to go. I'm not really very impressed with it at the moment, and the amount of dirt that's getting through it. I mean, I know it's going through the screen, so it is probably less than 70 microns, but it is a lot more dirt than I was expecting. You know, I think my EasyPod caught more dirt than this is catching, to be quite honest. Drum filters were sold to me as being a perfect filter for people who wanted crystal clear water, but my water quality now is worse than it was in my old pond. You know, it's getting worse at the moment, not better. Okay, so I've got this second float switch wired in. I've managed to squeeze it through that cable gland. I mean, considering that's an essential part of the filter to stop it getting stuck in a wash cycle, you would think that that would come already wired. But hey ho. And again, none of these float switches come wired. You had to wire them all in and wire them into the unit as well. I'm going to have to change the level on that. That second float switch is too low, so I'm still bringing up the water level again at the moment. So I'm still just over 2 inches below where it should be. The water level normally is bang on that gravity line. So I'm going to get it filled back up, and then hopefully I can get the filters back up and running again. Oh, for God's sake, this is now the third time this has happened. As you can see, the water is probably 1.5 foot, nearly 2 feet down. I've switched it off now, but basically the drum's got stuck in a cleaning cycle and the wash pump has pumped all that water out to waste. There is the low level cut off switch, which for whatever reason hasn't cut it off. You know, all the pumps were still running. You know, they're making a horrible noise, so I hope it's not knackered any of the pumps. Oh, for God's sake, and that's probably pumped out 4,000 or 5,000 litres of water. I mean, these drums are meant to be reliable, but I just don't trust it to leave it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the fish don't seem too bothered, but oh, it's going to take hours to trickle all that water back in. I'm going to have to just turn the hose pipe on full and just put a load of dechlorinator in. Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. Just run a manual clean though, and look at the state of that mesh. That's dirt that's run down the outside of the mesh. I think the pressure pump's just too powerful. Right, so I think I may have found the issue. I mean, well, I don't know why my water level's dropped, but this don't know how well you can see it here, this low level sensor is meant to cut the power to the drum if the water level drops below it, but if I move that up and down, that's not cut any of the power. It was working when I installed it. I don't know what's changed. I'm going to open the unit up and check the connections quickly, but yeah, that's knackered, so that's not very good. Okay, so it's been, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks since those last clips now, and the pond's matured a lot since then. To be quite honest, I haven't really changed anything. What I did in the end was just push the float switches back down a little bit further and kind of just sit on my hands and wait. I think most of the issues have been stemming from the fact the pond is new and there's not a lot of waste in there, and there's also no algae on the sides of the ponds. I think, you know, most of what the drum pulls out is actually algae, and I think when it's just being triggered by fish waste, when the pond's so clean, I think that's what was causing most of the dirt to come through. Anyway, I'll run, that's a bit better, you can see it now. I'll run a quick clean on the drum now, and you can see the difference now between what it was before, hopefully anyway. That's the longer cleaning cycle as well now. I mean, as you can see on the clean side, it does still cloud up a little bit. You know, there is some really fine dirt that does get through the drum, but you know, I think that is just how they are. You can see little bits of dirt on the sides there, but it is all stuff that's smaller than 70 microns, and you know, it just goes back around the system and it does get taken out eventually. You know, as you saw a minute ago, the water quality now is spot on. Possibly in the future I might look at something just to polish it off, just that final little bit, but to be quite honest, I'm quite happy with the water quality now. I mean, as you can see, it now does a full rotation, so after the clean there's no bars that are still dirty. Yeah, so that definitely needed doing. I'll just show you quickly what actually came out from that clean. I put a bucket under the outlet, so I'll just quickly show you that now. And this is what the drum is taking out of the pond about once an hour. So the drum filter is just cleaned, and this is what it's taken. That water is absolutely filthy. Yeah, good thing about drums is it's taking bucket like this out. You know, it's as dirty as that every time, about once an hour, once every 45 minutes. That's a lot of dirt to still be sitting in the pond. Right, and in terms of the drum getting stuck in the cleaning cycle, what was actually happening, because I had the probes so close to the water level to try and get the drum to trigger more often, which is what I was being told I needed to do. As the drum gets dirty, the water level in here drops, which also makes the water level in the IBC drop. And what was happening, obviously that water then gets pumped back into the pond and goes over the overflow, so there's actually less water in the pond, if that makes sense. So when the drum cleans, the water level in here comes up and the water level in here comes back up, and then that's quite a lot of extra water that's in the filters now and not in the pond. So what was happening is after a clean, the level on the clean side was actually dropping, not coming up, because the water had gone down the overflow. So it was then getting stuck in that cleaning loop. But I mean, now the pond has matured a bit more. I've got these sensors a little bit lower after a clean. Don't know if you can even see them there, but they're now about an inch down after a clean, and it is cleaning a lot more regularly now. It's cleaning about once every 45 minutes to an hour. So now there is, you know, a bigger drop in water level. It is still coming back over it. Hope that makes sense. It's just, it was on sort of a bit of a knife edge really, and just pushing the sensors down and waiting for the pond to mature was really all I needed to do, and I've caused myself a lot of aggro for no reason really. Right, and one last thing I would advise is I'm taking my feed for the wash pump from the IBC, and really I should have put a tank connector in here. In fact, I may still change this at some point. Some of that dirt that I was seeing, not all of it, but some of it was from the K1 chamber. So the biofilm on the K1, as it's getting moved around, it does shed a lot of the bits off there, and what's happening is they're getting sucked back round and sprayed out through the spray jets, and some of the larger bits I was seeing, and probably still am seeing in this side, are actually coming back through from the IBC rather than coming through the mesh. So that was definitely part of my problem. So thanks for watching this video today, guys. I'm going to end it in a minute because the weather's getting absolutely awful today. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed watching it and some of the issues I've been having with the drum. As I say, they are all sorted now, and I haven't had any problems with it since for a good few weeks now. You know, now the pond's matured and I'm feeding a lot more, it seems to be working really well. You know, I am really pleased with the drum. You know, and I would still recommend somebody buying one if they're thinking of getting one, but you know, just be aware that they're not plug and play, and you know, they're not these magic maintenance free filters that some people perhaps think they are. But yeah, they are good, and they do give you good water quality once they're all up and running. You know, I will do another update in a few months' time once I've had it for a little bit longer and let you know how I'm getting on with it. But yeah, it's all good now anyway. So thanks for watching this video. If you could give it a like and subscribe, and if you got any other questions about the drum or the pond or anything like that, stick them down in the comments below. And just before anybody says it, I did check all the seals on the drum, and it is properly sealed. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you like it and subscribe. Once we hit 2,000 subscribers, which we're not too far away now, I'll be giving away that 3-stage dechlorinator, so you know, hit that subscribe button and we'll do a giveaway on that soon. Thanks for watching, guys.